Hey guys, Effie here. Today I'm going to walk you through how to build up our new pop-up peonies. After you've cut out all your pieces onto lightweight paper, you don't want to use cardstock, otherwise your card will be too bulky. Even paper that is similar in weight to scrapbooking paper, that is fine. After you've die cut all your pieces, you want to take the largest piece and you want to fold the tabs up before you glue the two ends together. So after you folded the two tabs in the center of the blossom up, you want to make sure that the tab that's going to connect your blossom is on the right side, and you want to just glue it behind the other end of your blossom. Next, fold or crease over the areas where each petal meets. This is going to give your blossom some added shape and support. Next, I applied some liquid adhesive to the underside of my tabs and I glued this blossom onto the center of the inside of a side folding A2 size card base. When you're gluing down each layer of your pop-up peony, you want to make sure that the tabs are facing each other and that they're running parallel to that score line of your card base. So after you glue down that first blossom, I'm going to move on to the second largest piece. And before I glue together the two ends, you want to make sure you fold those two center tabs up. And you can see the two center tabs are facing each other, and imagine a score line coming down the center. So make sure you fold and crease over your blossom accordingly. When you get your dies and you cut out your paper, it's going to leave score lines, so you're going to know exactly where you need to fold over or crease your paper. As we continue to build up our peony, we're going to glue down all the pieces in a similar fashion. All of your pieces today will have tabs on them, including the single pieces, which I'll get to later. So the second piece has two tabs that face each other, and as you can see, there is a little bit of space between the two tabs, and in the center of that space you want to make sure that is where the score line is going to be. So after you glue down each piece, just let it dry a little bit, and then you can close the cover of your card base, then open it back up again, and you can see that your pop-up petals are perfectly placed. I'm going to continue assembling my pop-up peony, and as you can see, the pieces are getting smaller and smaller as we get closer to the center of our flower. They all get assembled the same way though, so make sure you just fold those inner or center tabs up and then glue the two ends together. And then you're just going to fold over a crease wherever there is a score line left by the dies. As we continue to build up the pop-up peony, the petals get smaller and smaller. So as you glue down each section, if you need a little bit of assistance, I just use the end of my tweezer, or you can use the end of a pen or a pencil, anything that has a narrow edge to it. This pop-up peony is really easy to assemble, especially if you use lighter weight paper. When I designed this, I just thought that it was so cool, and I think it might be one of the coolest things that I've designed thus far. Because when you open up the card, there's this dimensional pop-up peony right inside your card, and it's so different, and I'm very, very excited to release this. What's really cool about this is that paper florals are so popular and trendy right now, and this pop-up peony is so dimensional. It works on the inside of a card when you use lighter paper, but you don't have to limit yourself and only use this for that purpose. There are so many DIY decor options that you can use paper flowers for, and the results are just gorgeous. I am planning on creating a floral backdrop using these peonies, so stay tuned to our blog and YouTube for a future project using these gorgeous pop-up peonies. So I'm down to my last two petal pieces. Now these are single petals. All you need to do is fold up the end and create a small tab and just glue them into the center of your peony. After you finish gluing down these two single petals, you have the inner stamens left. You can cut out two stamens with the die. If you're using lighter weight paper, you can cut multiple sheets at once. This actually applies to all the pieces. If you're using lighter weight paper, you can cut multiple pieces at one time using the die because usually with cardstock you can only get one piece per go or pass through the die cutting machine, but with lighter weight paper I've cut about 3 or 4 of these sheets at once. So this is a really great way to help mass produce these pop-up peonies if you want to make something like a backdrop where you're going to need several of the floral or blossoms. Once my peony was complete, I'm just going to glue down some of the leaves. The leaves don't have to be the lighter weight paper. You can just use regular green cardstock because the leaves are adhered directly onto the card base. Even after I added leaves to all 4 corners of my peony or the underside of my peony, I still had a lot of white space left on the inside of my card so that I still have enough room to write a message to the recipient of this card. Now that we've embellished the inside of the card, what am I going to do for the face of the card? I want to keep the face of the card somewhat simple so that I don't clash or take away from the inner portion of my card. So here I just took our 2-piece foliage die and I used the one portion of the 2-piece die to create a front for the card. Alright, that's it for this video. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's project.